Hi, I'm Libra. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2020 love reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'll probably start those up again in January, just to give you an update there. As far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left side as your energy and the cards on the right as theirs. If you feel like that energy should be the other way around, then trust that. Alright, so I'll fall out of the way. Past energy on your side, we have Fortune. So this is actually the equivalent of the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter energy. So I'm getting a couple different things with this. For one, you guys have had Jupiter in your 4th house, right? And this kind of gives me that homey feel in that regard. So it could just be saying that you guys might have just been really withdrawn and just keeping to yourselves, maybe staying at home a lot lately. But besides that as well, I do see that this is pointing to, this is someone who probably thought of a lot. There's probably some distance between the two of you, because if we look at that figure there, it looks like they're not physically in the room with her, but obviously it looks like she's looking right at them. So could just be saying that this person might come to your mind often, or at least they did in the past. Maybe even had some songs that would remind you of this person. Maybe there was a connection the two of you had around music, but also to me it looks almost like some water in the background too. So I feel like it could just be saying that maybe you guys were, for whatever reason, trying to turn your back to your emotions around the situation. All right, and past energy on their side, we have Temperance. So this is Sagittarius energy here, and we do see the Jupiter energy there, which is their ruler, so we see that connection. But this could just be saying that, this person might add an independent streak to them. Again, I do see that theme where maybe there was a bit of distance between the two of you, and it could even just be saying that if you guys were really withdrawn and sticking to yourselves with all the heavy stuff you guys had going on in your 4th house, it could just be saying that this person was totally fine with that and doing their own thing as well, because Sagittarius energy is very independent energy. But this also represents balance too, so at the very least I see, well, I could go a couple different ways, because of course you guys are known for balance as well, so it could just be saying that on the one hand, if you guys weren't really giving any energy to the connection, then they could have been approaching it the same way, right? But another could just be saying that, like I said, they might have just been really focused on their own thing, not really stressing it, not really adding to your stress if they might have saw that you guys did have a lot going on and were just, doing their own thing. All right, present energy on your side, we have Princess of Cups, which is the equivalent of the Page of Cups, and Seven of Coins, which is Taurus energy. So on the one hand, this does represent usually trying to make a love offer and open up emotionally, but again, what stands out to me is she seems to have her back turned again to the water, right, which represents emotions, and her back turned to the cards on their side too. So I feel like you're still keeping your feelings to yourself for whatever reason. For some of you, this could also be saying that, maybe part of the reason is you might feel like they might not be as mature as you in one way, shape, or form. Also, there's also the possibility that this could just be saying that there might be an age difference between the two of you. But I feel like the attraction is there, though, but for whatever reason, you don't seem too open to expressing it. And, I do have to say there's Major Arcana and Court cards on their side, so if you were seeing it more like they had an immaturity to them, it could just be, again, like I said, even if they're not a Sagittarius, they might have just had a bit of a Jupiterian flair to them that can come across as a bit more playful, but it doesn't necessarily mean immature. So maybe you guys were getting a false read on them for whatever reason too. All right, in the present position on their side, we have the Stars. So this is the Major Arcana card for Aquarius. And given that we did see that Jupiter energy in the past and now seeing this in the present, it, does bring to my mind the fact that, of course, we're going to have Jupiter moving into the sign of Aquarius in December, a little bit past the middle of the month. So could just be pointing to that energy. And of course, that could be a much better energy for you guys to have Jupiter there, as opposed to the fourth house. So it could just be saying that it might get things back on track in your love lives. The star in general usually represents a course correction as well, because usually it comes after the tower. So that represents that, okay, there's actually, maybe this person went through some situations that they needed to go through as well, but now it seems like they're back on course and moving forward. Now, of course, this looks like there's genuine interest as well, but of course, we do have the fact that her back is turned too, right? So it could be that at the current time, neither of you might be expressing your emotions toward each other, but I do feel like they do see you as someone that they could go the distance with. All right, and the future position, you got quite a few cards that came up. We have the Three of Staves, which is Aries energy, the Queen of Coins, which is Capricorn energy, the Four of Arrows, which is Libra energy, and Grace, which is the equivalent to the Star card. So we see it in the present for them, future for you here. Three of Staves. So a couple things come to mind with this. This is Aries energy. It usually represents that waiting for your ships to come in energy. And also, this is where Mars finally started to go direct again. And at the time I'm recording this, it's still in those degrees. So that could be what that's pointing to there. It could just be saying that they might add things on hold for you guys too, as far as your love lives go. That whole Mars retrograde cycle. And it was making tough aspects to those planets in your fourth house as well. So, could have just been really slowing things down for you guys in that regard. But now it's finally moving forward again. With the Queen of Coins energy here, though, this, again, I feel like this is just pointing to you guys, again, still being at home, right? Because it's that fourth house energy. And feeling like, again, I feel like I might get that feeling, like I said, with the Seven of Coins, that you might feel like there's a difference between the two via maturity level. But again, we do see that she's kind of sitting there with her back turned, body language wise, but again, she's kind of looking there now at least. So at least it's a little bit closer than she was there. So I feel like you're still trying to, maybe even this is you just trying to show that you have your own independent streak and you're totally self-reliant on your own and you don't necessarily need anyone either. With the Four of Arrows energy, I feel like this is pointing to some healing for you guys overall, given that this is a Libra card for one, and this usually comes after the Three of Swords as well. So I feel like this is just saying that through that transit, maybe as it is wrapping up, we're going to have Saturn and Jupiter both moving into Aquarius. Could just represent that finality of that transit for you guys. And then with the Grace card, again, I feel like this is saying that when the energy does shift to Aquarius for you guys, you're going to feel a lightening of the load. Because like I said, that is quite heavy energy to have in your fourth house. All of those planets. Pluto's still going to be there, of course, but overall it's just pretty heavy. So could just be pointing to the same thing there too, where you guys also go through your course correction now, and that might actually enable things to grow. And of course, with the artwork here too, it looks like she's being pulled out of the fire. So it could just be saying that once that transit, again, that's a fellow air sign for you guys too, Aquarius, so naturally you'll feel more comfortable and confident with that energy as well. Could just be saying that you guys will feel that shift, and it'll help things move forward in this connection. And the future energy on their side, we have the Queen of Chalices. So this is the court card for Cancer. And for you guys, that's your 10th house. So it could just be saying that they're being more open and nurturing toward you guys. For you guys, that's your 10th house too. So, we do tend to think of that as a lot of career related stuff, but it's also just social status in general. So for example, if they were going to put that effort toward a commitment with you guys, then you would see that there. And also, given that this Cancer is the natural ruler of the fourth house, it might say that them, their presence might help lighten the load for you guys too, as far as, like I said, all the heaviness that you might have felt with all those heavy fourth house transits. But that's what I'm seeing there. And it's interesting too, you guys have the Capricorn card on your side, and then they have the Cancer energy. So definitely the opposites there, but in a balanced way. So pretty promising as well. The bottom of the deck on your side, we have Triumph, which is the equivalent of the World card. And usually this represents completions, and that does stand out to me. Like I said, the fact that you guys both have the Star card, so you just might have had some growth cycles that you guys are going through. Although I will say it seemed like separate from each other, but it seemed like you went through those cycles nonetheless. So, while this represents completions, we do see the people do look like they're reuniting, right? So there's that. So it could just be saying whatever obstacles you guys had to go through seemed like you were meant to go through them possibly separately for at least a while. Looks like you guys might be getting through that now. Now you could actually get to the physical act of being together, And interestingly enough, too, beneath that, we have the Queen of Cups on your side, too, at the bottom of the deck. So they have it in the future on their side, and you guys have it there underneath Triumph. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Wands. So this is Aries energy as well. Also represents the energy of fresh starts. So this is another indicator for me that, yeah, they definitely could have gone through some kind of a growth cycle of their own with that Star card in the present. And now they're getting a fresh start in some way too. So overall, pretty good energy on both sides. So hopefully that resonated. But next, we'll move on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but what I'm looking for here is just some jumpers. First, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just take that as a sign to move on to the next Oracle deck. But sometimes we do get additional messages here, which could be helpful. So, like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Okay, got one there. And next we'll see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. Oh, got one there as well. All right, so let's see what we got. On your side, we have secrets. It says, I hid something from you and I'm afraid to tell you about it. Okay, interesting. That's interesting as far as I'm not necessarily seeing that, although maybe that could be what the Princess of Cups is about, where, like, with her back turned, where it's like, oh, she doesn't really want to communicate, because that's why I usually say with the Page of Cups, it's like there's sincerity there, but it's also lacking confidence too. So that could even be what that's about for some of you. Let me see if there's anything else here that would point to that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's going to resonate for some of you. I'm not necessarily seeing it. Maybe you guys are just that good at hiding stuff. But that could point to what the Four of Arrows energy could be about. You guys finally get that out in the open, and then that allows the healing process to take place. But like I said, hopefully that resonates for some of you. And next we have on their side. All right. Just says heart, I love you. So, I mean, like I said, with that Queen of Cups in the future position, that definitely seems like a loving, nurturing energy. Like I said, it looks like they were just doing their own thing, going through a growth cycle of their own too, with that Two of Wands as well. That's an energy of a fresh start, right? Passionate start. So, I mean, I could definitely see that on their side. So, hopefully that resonated as well. And finally, we'll pull something from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here as far as I did pre-shuffle this deck as well, but Here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing's coming up. I'll give it a few more shuffles. In worst case, we'll just put the deck down and pull a random card. Yeah, so let me just put the deck down. And give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll just pull a card. Alright. Okay, we have Yin. There's the artwork, and the number is 2. So we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. The Oracle's message. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. So an interesting message there about receptivity, because what that did make me think of is what I was saying as far as the Princess of Cups, how she has her back turned to the cards on that side. So it could even just be saying that you might have just, been closed off to their love offers toward you in the past. So could be what that's pointing to there. And the relationship message says, let others take the lead right now. Your power lies in small gestures, soft awareness, and conscious surrender. By yielding the reins, you will find yourself effortlessly moving closer to what you truly desire. Permit others to tell you who they are and who they can be to you by allowing their actions to speak about them. You will be pleasantly surprised. So yeah, once again, we see a theme of openness there. And I mean, for some of you might not have been there, but I will say, like I said, in the future position, it looks like you will get there. With that 4 of arrows representing, like I said, some healing for you guys, and then grace obviously is another indicator of healing. So, if you haven't gotten there yet, it looks like you'll get there soon. Maybe even that new moon eclipse in Sagittarius around the middle of December might help you guys, because that's in your house communication. But overall, pretty good spread. Hopefully it resonated with you guys. I hope you all have a happy new year, and I'll see you all next year. All right, bye.